Coach. It's the team's first loss of the season. Every loss or win, there's an important lesson to be learned for yourself. What do you think is the most important lesson to learn from this loss?
Yeah, today's a hard lesson, but an important one for sure. Just in terms of understanding the understanding for our group, that obviously we have our ideas in terms of the football that we want to play, the game that we want to try to make. But if in a few too many areas our level comes down even just a little bit, and we're not quite as good dealing with the moments of the game that play out in the way that the opponent wants to, then the margins get tight, and obviously if you combine that today with giving away bad goals at bad times, early in the game, against a team that hasn't had a particularly good start to the season, to give them even a little bit of hope, that is, yeah, not the way we want to start. Obviously, then the free kick later in the half, we didn't manage any part of that in a good way, and then in the second half, as we're trying to push to get back into the game, to give away 3-0 like that is hard as well. So yeah, hard lesson today, but an important one, and we'll use it in the right way.
Next, we go to Joe.
Michael, particularly with your attack, just maybe what wasn't necessarily clicking, at least was it just kind of lacking the final ball? Was there something that maybe you just weren't seeing in the build-up?
Yeah, look, Montreal play in a little bit of a unique way. They tilt their bar towards being very extreme man-to-man. We worked a fair bit on that during the week. I thought we had moments where our ideas and some of the things that we tried to do were good, but certainly for the day we didn't create enough. We didn't manage to take our football and our control of the game and turn it into enough big chances. Few too many almost, a few too many times where if we're a little bit sharper, if we see the space or the window a little bit faster, a few times we had balls, we played balls across the 6-yard box in really dangerous ways and didn't have anybody running in there. So yeah, that part for sure let us down a little bit today.
Next with Eric.
Michael, in the beginning of the year, I asked you about being dogmatic versus pragmatic. It seemed like you might have made a dogmatic choice with your system of being free-flowing, attacking by playing Julian Hall at that kind of 8. And even last week, Andy Rojas there in place of Donkor. Why them versus, say, more natural midfielder like Gustav, who maybe offers a little different profile, but maybe more of a pragmatic profile in that position?
Yeah, it's a good question. If you go back to last week, Andy Rojas has trained a lot as an 8. So I don't, almost exclusively as an 8 for us in the last 4 or 5 weeks. We think he has good qualities in there. So obviously, yeah, he can be a guy last year for the second team that played more as an attacker, but he also has qualities that that fit in a good way as an 8 in the midfield. Julian today, we felt like it was a good game and the right time to bring Chupo back into the team and to, against Montreal and the way that they play, the way that they defend, that he could give us really good things. And we wanted to still have Julian on the field. And so we thought about the idea of, playing him from the left or the right. In the end, felt like he could give us some of his football, some of his dynamism and mobility from the midfield. And so, yeah, we'll look closely as we go back through the game. I think there were moments where, as I said, almost, where some of the ideas and some of the the things that we work on every day were there, but we couldn't quite execute in the best way today.
Next, we'll go over here to our right.
Holden Willemse, 88.7 FM WRHU. Do you have any updates on Doncor?
Do I have any updates? Not a serious injury. Back on the field doing stuff already. So day to day, we'll keep moving him along and see where we are as we move through the week.
Next, we'll go to Voss.
How's it going, Coach? Thank you for the time. Just wanted to ask you on the team's halftime talk, knowing that you guys were facing real adversity for the first time in the regular season, and how did you try to motivate the players to try to turn that result around?
Yeah, just to keep going. You know, that the first half wasn't what we wanted, but there have been a million examples of teams that go into halftime down 2-0, and find a way to get the first goal and get themselves back in the game. And so I thought even at halftime we still had really good chances to play and find the next goal and really push in a strong way. And so, you know, we had a good halftime. We showed them a few quick clips from the first half and tried to make sure that they understood the game was still there. You know, another 50 minutes to play and keep going. Don't feel sorry for yourselves for 1 second and just try to, in every moment, understand how to claw your way back into the game.
Next, we'll go to Kyle.
Hey, Coach. Is there anything you want to see more out of Cade or George in the attacking third in the next couple matches?
Generally speaking, and it's not just Cade and George, we feel good about the way that we are starting to establish our ideas, our ways of trying to play. But now, you know, we have to continue to make it all even better, sharper. As I said, we've got to be able to take our moments of good football and our moments of playing in the other team's half and really, you know, pushing them back. But we've got to find more ways to turn that into big chances. And certainly Cade and George are a big part of that in terms of creating for others, but also getting on the end of things. And so, yeah, we feel good about the direction that they're going. We're going, but we have to now continue to make it all even better.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more questions with Coach. First, we'll go to Gary, and then we'll finish up with Joe. Gary, you have the floor.
Hey, Coach, in a loss like this, of course, like you said, it's a hard lesson and the lessons to be learned. One question I wanted to ask you is the energy flow was a little off when Choupo-Moting, of course, you put him up front. Of course, he needed to start. Did you feel that it disrupted the flow a little bit as opposed to Hall bringing that energy, bringing that attack in the front, or it just didn't matter at all?
No, I think Choupo gave us really good things. Obviously, you know, look, we had to make a few changes. You know, Dylan Nealis picked up a little bit of an injury. Obviously, Ronnie wasn't ready for this game, and so, you know, there was no way that we could play the same group that started in the first 2 games. And so then when we started to think about how we wanted to put it together for this game, thinking also about how Montreal play, we felt like this was the best group and the best way to go. Obviously, when the game goes the way that it does, certainly as a coach, you'll look hard at yourself and as you go back through it, see if the things that you hoped for or the things that you set out to be able to have in the game were there as much as you would have wanted. But like I said, generally speaking, Choupo gave us a lot of good things. Robbie Volader came in and you know, for his first time this season had a good game, and so we're gonna continue pushing the whole group forward in a strong way.
And we'll finish up with Joe.
Michael, just what did you see from Audrey today, maybe when Montreal was kind of keying in on him a little extra, maybe compared to the first 2 weeks of the season?
Yeah, like I said, it's a different kind of game. The game has a different feel because of the way that they defend. It is the part of finding space, the part of how you get the game in motion. It's a little bit different because, again, no matter where you go, your opponent, your marker is going to follow you. And so the some of the ways that now you can play and start to connect passes and move forward against a team that is a little bit more ball oriented or a little bit more zonal, that part becomes different today. And so, generally speaking, I think we still found a lot of good ways to progress things and move into their half and now start to push them back, but we weren't able to turn that into enough like big quality, enough chances, enough big chances. So that for me is the biggest thing in terms of now our ideas with the ball on a day like today.